especially like through my development stage, freshman all the way to senior year. I just wish I would have been on that side of town maybe and got to connect with you guys. I definitely felt like it would have helped me a lot.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in the One-Eyed Scout Show, and I will have my sidekick, Mr. Philip Townsend, coming on in. And the title of this show is going to be "You Never Know Who's Watching, Phil." You never know, Phil.
Never know. You
And
never know.
you
Uh,
know, it was always funny to me, man, that I was really in the gym uh, for about 8 years, and I started going to games. Nobody knew who I was. I started writing articles, putting tweets out, still connecting kids to schools. And then people kept coming up to me saying, "Man, we never see you in the gym." I said, "Cause I didn't want you to see me in the gym, But no, man, and it's been a little bit different now that people are starting to recognize my face and that we go in. But uh, no, I always think back to, man, like coach has been calling for years, but we were just in the gym just watching, and no one knew who we were. And I kind of lead that into uh, this weekend. There's some teams playing, and I don't think kids realize altogether that Division two, Division three, and junior colleges there aren't like really loud periods. They could be there whenever, and so you see some different body language. You see some different things that you don't see in live period, but people take notes, you know. But as we, as I prepare for this show this week, I called around to some different universities and asked them, what's your biggest turn-ons and biggest turn-offs, you know, and turn-ons were defensive-minded guards, defensive-minded, pick them up, block shots, steals, turnovers, assists. That was the biggest turn-on.
right.
If I had to ask you the biggest turn-off, I don't want to put you on the spot, so we'll just say it. But the biggest turn-off, man, was body language. I thought it would be bad shots or ball hogging the ball or turning the ball over. But he said, no, man, it's body language, because what you
Yeah.
think about that?
No, I totally agree because your body language, well, you're getting that body language because of a mindset, right?
Hmm.
And so what happens with that body language, because you have that mindset, it's like, it could be like, oh man, look, I've been open, they ain't passed me the ball, man, forget that. When I just get that ball, I'm just going to shoot it.
Yeah.
Hey, forget getting the rebound and passing it out because they're not giving it back to me. So yeah, that body language can set the tone for everything. So I totally see that. And Kevin, it's just like you always just gotta be prepared. Um,
Hmm.
because it's like anything else. You gotta be prepared, you gotta stay fit, and just be ready. Because you never know. It's kind of like that old thing. You know how you used to hear all the time? Hey, make sure you got your good underwear on because you never know if you're going to be in an accident, right?
Yeah.
So you always got to be set and prepared to go, you know?
Man, that's funny, but I haven't heard that in a long time. But you're damn right. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Um, but I did want to say, man, and we're excited to announce this. We're teaming up with the Roof Hub, and I want to let everybody know that next Wednesday night, uh, me and Mr. Philip Townsend will be at the Roof Hub from 7 to 8 o'clock. And
Yeah.
Philip,
Kevin, just not going to be at the roof hub. People gotta
no,
people gotta know. See,
yeah,
this is
yeah,
look. This isn't a one-off. This is a movement. See,
Mm-hmm.
when he mentioned now people start to recognize him. No, when I need to get into a gym, you know what I say? I'm looking for Kevin Howell. Guess what? They know I'm looking for the one-eyed scout. That's how it rolls, and being that way. And so I'm excited. Kevin's excited. Hey, we're going to be at the Root Pub next Wednesday. Mark it down. Just come and grab you a table and be ready to be part of something that's real. Because the one thing you're going to get from the One-Eyed Scout, you're not going to get any fluff. You are going to get the real deal analysis to it. So I'm telling you right now, we'll have the mic, we'll have the stories, and we're going to talk about the players you need to know.
Yeah, and we're gonna we're gonna skip around a little bit tonight, Phil,
Yep.
because we started off talking about the live period, uh, and telling kids, and parents, about what the feedback we got from coaches going into this. But I am gonna put out a plug for for the Watch This podcast, man. Uh, we're up to like 18 episodes, and you can find it on uh, Apple Podcasts. Um, go ahead, man.
Would you repeat that again, Kev?
Yeah, the one eye watch list, and it's a list of guys that I stamp they'll be Division II or better, and in some cases we've got guys. Hey, Marcus Zeeley was supposed to be on there today.
Hmm.
Marcus Zeeley was the young man from Side Ridge, Austin, that was on the live show a few weeks back. Guess what he did today? Young man committed to Iowa State.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoop, whoop.
we caught him. We caught him right before he got his
Wow.
offer to Drake, and yeah, I was excited for him, and da da da. And then he went to live period, came back, got an offer from Iowa State, and
Wow.
then 2 days later got an offer from Arizona State, and he sent me a text about 30 minutes before our interview that he had a workout. So I'm pretty sure, but I'm just excited for him, man, because such a good dude. Um, but I mean, just think about that, man. You're getting to play in the Big 12 conference in a state of the union that is basketball is so relevant in Iowa. And Vance and I were talking about that earlier, man. So again, to say Marcus is going to be on there. We've got just a few 27s, but we have the Almuda twins. They're ranked in the top top part of the state rankings. Um, I want to say they're like between 10 and 15, and then you got let's see, um, Hudson Lucas from Parish Episcopal as well. And man, I'm not going to spoil it, but we're going to go look on Apple Podcast for the one eye watch list because we're adding people each I won't say each day, but almost every day. But you know who a young man we had on today, man, and I'm so fired up for him is you remember the big fella from O'Connor, uh Hagen Hurst?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it took him a while to get back going. He had that injury, and man, he is having a spectacular summer playing with SA Future on that Pro 16.
Oh, he's one of the future guys, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, this year he is.
Yeah.
He moved over there this year. But it's been awesome, man, because they have Latrell Hoover,
Yeah.
7 footer. So he's getting to go against a 7 footer every practice. But what that did for him was it kicked him out to the power forward position where he needed to be. And now more than ever, he's living that life as the baby Joker, man.
Hmm. Uh,
But go ahead.
no, since you brought up the name Latrell Hoover, how's that inside play going for him?
You know what, man? He's looked really good, really explosive. Um, you know, I I, I would say he's gotten back with his trainer Felix, being back home, and Felix is part of that future organization.
Okay.
So I'm assuming, making assumptions, but that's who Latrell trained with prior to uh, going out to Arizona.
Arizona. Yeah.
But no, man, he he's going to Link Academy. They're one of the top 5 prep schools in the country. Um, and so, but no, I've seen it. I saw him play early in the summer at my favorite tournament. They call it the circuit, and that's where all the circuit teams play against each other.
Right.
And he looked really explosive then. I've seen film clips, so I'm happy for him, man. He got a chance to revitalize himself, and but uh, but no, man, Hagen Hurst. That's gonna be a fun name to watch. He talked about his battles with Mason Thomas.
Oh yeah.
He said he played Mason like 4 times in 1 month, just because of the schedule. So, uh, excuse me, man.
Mm.
All this rain has given me, as my wife would say. But uh, I was telling Vance, I'm not a huge NBA guy, but one thing I really like, man, is about this time of year, the NBA has their summer leagues, and 10 years ago, 8 years ago, nobody knew about them except for the really diehard guys. And but in the last few years, man, it's turned into a really big spectacle. And I know the Spurs guys are out in California first, and they're going to do that league, and then they're going to come over to Las Vegas, and so it's a big deal, man. And that's the cool part because those are guys that aren't supposed to make it. You got your first round draft picks and the guys you've been on the team and need more maturation.
Right.
But we talked about it a while back, man. That's where your D3, D2, junior college, overseas. I'm just gonna bet on myself kind of guys, and those
Yeah. Yeah. That and Kevin, it's going to be a little spice up because you're going to have Cooper Flag participating in some
mm,
summer league action. Ronnie James is going to be participating, so it's going to be some crowds. I, it, the date that's going to start because I think I may be in Vegas then myself.
you know what, man? I was looking it up. Um, it opens next week.
Yeah.
Uh, Next week's announcement. No, that's for
No,
that's
that
for us.
yeah,
But,
because
no, I don't, man. I
okay,
don't.
yeah. Because if it's going on when I'm in Vegas, I'm going to try and see if I can't catch some of it.
Yeah, and it was one of those things that when I was researching for the show, uh, I was looking at. And, um, but no, I get excited about it. I watch a little bit of highlights from it, because that's where you really get undrafted guys, overlooked guys. But the really big one is the late bloomers, and those guys really shake the salt shaker, stir the milk, whatever you want to call it, because some of those guys just needed time, especially big players, big league, you know. But but I am looking forward to seeing Cooper Flag and seeing what he's got going on. The uh, you know the jokes from the peanut gallery
I know,
asking,
right?
but but no, man. Hey, let's go ahead and give it up for Vance on the show. Vance was hit his first and only hole in one this week. I don't play golf, so I don't know how exactly that feels. But glad for him. You know, and you brought it up, man, earlier uh, about staying in shape and being ready.
Oh yeah,
You can guarantee you, now one of those guys is going to be out of shape at that summer league. You know, and people start having to look at these different opportunities, man. You don't get a whole lot of opportunities in life, you know.
yeah. Well, I know one somebody that's going to come in shape,
But
and that's going to be Bronny James.
yeah,
I know he's coming in shape because he's
yeah,
working out with Dad.
yeah. Man, you know, for all the the scuttlebutt that LeBron James about this and that, that dude is one disciplined guy when it comes to staying in shape and keeping his body right. Uh,
Yeah,
so I just wonder how long he can really keep it going, man.
yeah, but Kev, it's like anything else. Not everybody takes that serious or as serious as they should. And when we're talking about these, these young guys, these players coming in, they got to realize, like you always say, somebody's watching. Those eyes are on you. I mean, they're looking. You got a guard that's, hey, going to be playing tough D, just knuckle nose defense, big man reading the scene, making the right passes, doing what he needs to do. Division two, three coaches, JUCO guys, the looking, the hungry. You need to be ready to feed them.
Mhm.
Get yourself ready. Get yourself ready so you'll let them know you're the one. Kev, would you just talk about the importance of JUCO now? We're talking eligibility.
Well, you know, man, it's gonna. There's so many. So I'm gonna start a podcast, and it's gonna be just about junior college and the different rulings that are coming down. You know, um, we saw just just this week or so where there was a guy that played Division two for 3 years, and then went to Division one, and now he petitioned and he's getting another year. You know, um, so I know that you're gonna have to pick one of three routes. You're either gonna go to prep school, which is a good route for some. You're gonna go junior college, which is a good route for some, or you're gonna go Division two and try to portal up. And I bring that up because Phil, I don't know if you realize this, man, but at Live Period, I was sitting there talking to Division two coaches that's part of their recruiting pitch. Man, we've had this guy come in, stay with us for a year. He portaled up to the University of Troy, or he another scenario portaled up to um, I'm a, the name forgets me, but it's the American Conference. You know, so there's so much going on, and people really have to find what's right for them, Phil. Because I'm gonna tell you, and I'm a big proponent for junior college. That's
Right.
just what I'm most comfortable with. And in doing my research for this new podcast, I come to the understanding that only 20% of those guys go on to Division one, Division two level. Okay, so I look at why is that? Well, only 5% ever play anything after high school. So those numbers are going to keep being low because just the mere fact that it ain't for everybody. So you really have to find where your fit is. And for me, and I think I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on this. I think this younger generation has become scared to bet on themselves because they so much social media. They, I see guys, I hear guys talking. I say it's Amani Francis at Harlan is not ever going to back down from someone at the ring, and I respect that. And at some point, he's going to get dunked on. But so many guys are afraid to take that chance. And you go back to that line in the from Brad Pitt in the movie Troy when the young man runs out and says, "You're gonna fight who I forget his name, Goliath, whatever, you know." And he's like, "Oh, I wouldn't even do that. I couldn't imagine doing that." And Brad Pitt turns to him and says, "That's why they'll never know your name." Right? So put that into basketball terms. Like, I guess I'm getting on a soapbox tonight. And I'm sorry, man, but
Well, no, I wanted you to. That's why I brought up
yeah.
about the Jew code.
Well, when you think about it, man, kids are too cool today. Like they don't want to go out and really bust their ass in front of other people. But you look at the ones from the city that went to school, some of the guys, okay? You had Jordan Thomas go to Coastal Bend, was a Wagner. That dude was in the gym 3, 4 times a week extra. Jarius Jackson, extra work, coming to the doghouse. Zach Winston, come and get extra work. And Cam never worried about. He was so much an alpha dog, he didn't worry about what other people thought. And I'm just talking about one team. But when you start looking at, okay, so here's what I do. So I'm gonna put out some information here soon on how to use Twitter with a social media platform, right? And so I've got things, this ain't just a fly by night deal. I've been doing this for many years, and we put together something. Well, you go and look at these profiles, and the guys that are top notch, top level, top that they're gonna go to the Division 1, mid major, high major. Almost say 80% of them have the same type of Twitter profile. The information is locked in, right? But you go look at and then there's gonna be 20% that aren't, but they're so God given blessed that they don't have to worry about it, right? But you go back and look at guys that are afraid to push themselves to that Division 2 level, that are afraid to push themselves to try a JUCO level. And I'm not saying because certain people, your level is your level, right?
Right.
But when I played the game, I wanted to be the best at my position. I wanted to be the best at what I did. So I wanted to challenge myself, right? And that's a different story for a different day. But I think too many kids are worried about what other people are thinking that they never put themselves all the way out there because they're trying to protect themselves.
Well, Kev, I think so much of this is, uh, in part, I think that some of it can fall on here. Of course, there are always variables and extenuating circumstances, but I think the expediency of how things can travel with social media.
Oh
And now, if you put yourself out there, right? The It's instantaneous whether you can become that guy that can do it or that instant failure. And instead of some people coming back and going at it again, they just go ahead and say, "Man, I can't take the the criticism," because the
yeah,
criticism can come heavy and hard. And even if you're great at what you do, you can still get that preponderance of criticism as well as that. So it gets back into now. Here's what we're really getting into: your makeup
yeah.
and just what kind of, I'll just say, what type of advising, what type of whatever to get that intestinal fortitude in you to where you say, hey, they can say what they want to say. I know what I am, what I have, and what I can do, and that's what I'm going to do. And not everybody is built to take the criticism, and
Mhm.
a lot of people succumb to that, and just don't, you know, just don't have it in them to try and push through it because they know that the possibility for more criticism is still
Mhm.
coming because social media today it can be vicious.
It can, man. But we had Silas Rodriguez on the watch list today, and Silas played for Den Geyer, and Den Geyer won a state championship, 6A. He was a state MVP, so now he's going into his senior year, and preparing for that show. I looked up his social media. Dude just got back on Twitter like in May, and so I asked him, man, like, did you do LeBron shutdown or what? And he said, man, to be honest with you, I was so mentally drained. I was so physically drained that I knew I needed to recharge and just get back to what I do, get back to the gym, get back to this, and so it was kind of refreshing that someone had that so much maturity to realize I need to get off this for a little bit, you know. But I tell you what, man, two guys that really impressed me um, the last 2 weekends. One was Jermichael Moore from Veterans Memorial, and I've talked to coaches about it. 6'4", 6'5", but I watched it. Now he wasn't great at guarding point guards, but I watched him guard one through four, and he's physical against what would be a five, and he stretched his game out to the perimeter and had some counter moves. He's such a great rebounder, offensive rebounder, defensive rebounder, kicks the ball out, and DJ Jordan would take it the opportunities, but he was impressive. But I tell you what, man, Trey Clark from Wagner, uh, he's playing with ASAC right now, and man, when I'm telling you, guy was catching dunks off of offensive rebounds, blocking shots, running the floor like his hair was on fire, man.
How tall, roughly?
He's about 6'8", I think. Like he's
Wow.
a 4-star. Um, I just hadn't seen him play comfortable in a while, and but man, I was electric for him, because he uh he just put on such a great show this past weekend in like a pre-live tune-up kind of event, and I can't wait to hear back from him on what his is going to look like, because he's going to be up there in Rock Hill uh,
Mhm.
with 3SB, you know. Uh, but yeah, man, I just that's a couple of guys we talked about. Hagen Hurst, we talked about Amani, we talked about Jermichael Moore, Trey Clark, and we could do a rundown on some guards, man. Uh, Josiah Jones, I've seen him in the gym here lately. Uh, he's always in the gym, but just being able to catch him, Uh, Jamal Jamal Garland at Steele,
Right.
and then Maurice Eddy got an offer from University of Dallas, and I know that kind of opened his eyes to some other things, and Chris Howell from Steele is going to play for his country, Panama. Um, and I hope I got that right, Chris. But no, man, that's exciting. I mean, that's a huge honor for him. So Chris Howell will be playing for his country, in case you need to edit that. Uh,
Yeah.
and he's got a great last name. We can't go wrong with Howell, Howell.
Yeah, you can't go wrong, right?
Nah,
Yeah, but Kevin, what you're mentioning right there is you're talking about guys that know what to do and are doing what needs to be done. And that's the thing. People they've got to remember to stay in shape, stay sharp, stay hungry, because that JUCO coach, that Division 2 coach, that Division 3 coach might just be the one to get you, and that changes your life.
yeah,
So you got to stay ready. It ain't about getting ready. It's about being ready.
and Coach Hood from Central Florida always, I won't say always, but during live periods, tweets out, and it stays fresh in my mind that one great weekend can change your life, you know, and especially if it's these next 2 weekends after this. But man, Phil, let's shut it down. Uh, Thank you for TAAN TV for giving us the platform. Uh, but don't forget the Roof Hub. And for those that don't know, that's Patty Mills' old bar. It's a Aussie bar and grill, and we're gonna be in the mix in there. And looking forward to getting a chance to visit with some people. It's gonna be a good time. And
Should be a fun time, Kev.
oh,
Um, oh yeah, Roof Hub. But until then, don't forget, keep hooping, keep grinding, and remember, it ain't for everybody. And neither is the one-eyed scout.
yeah. Oh man, let's go, producer.